that's the district where Rachel Maddow grew up. And they're like, oh. So they say thank you, and then I tell them that that's a really high standard of constituents because they're all just as smart as Rachel Maddow. And in spite of that, they elected me, so figure that out. Thank you so much for coming on a Saturday morning. First things first. 2 weeks ago, I announced that I was withdrawing from the presidential race, and I wanted to thank you for your support. Thank you as constituents for understanding why I chose to do that, and I want to just briefly explain to you why I chose to do that. Many of you, I see familiar faces here. We went to a lot of town halls together in the very dark days after the 2016 election. And if I was listening to you, the message that I took away from so many of the questions that you asked was, what can we do to change this? Where are the congressional seats that we can go help to make a difference and win the majority in the House? So the message I received was that the best thing I could do was to try and find friends across the country. And so I led an effort to elect 40 new members of Congress in their 40s and under. And that took me across the country. I called it Future 40. And I went to places like Oklahoma and Iowa and Texas, Kansas. And I saw our great country, and I saw we were not as divided as the president tells us so often that we're supposed to be. And of the 40 candidates that I worked to help elect, 28 of them were in their 40s and under. And 17 of the 40 seats we flipped beat NRA-endorsed members of Congress. And I felt that this was an opportunity to meet a moment, to seize momentum, to have in the White House a president who would reflect that new energy and new ideas that was in Congress. After all, you sent me to Congress in 2012. I was 31. At 31, when you go to Congress, you're essentially put in charge of the IT help desk. And I did that with enthusiasm, but I also saw a place that did not look like you and me, and I didn't think was well equipped to take on the issues that I was hearing about here at home. But I'm happy to report to you that this now, today, the 116th Congress, is the most diverse Congress ever. It has the most women ever. It's the youngest ever. It gave me hope. So we ran hard. I went across the country. But I only ran to win and make a difference. And when that did not look likely, there was no other reason to do it. Not for a vanity project, not to sell a book, not to do anything other than win and make a difference. And I appreciate all the support that you gave me when I was on the trail. The notes you sent, phone calls you made, even some of the concerns you had about the work that was going on in Washington. I read them, and I hear you. And I want to tell you that what really inspired me to believe that coming from this district as the first in my family to go to college, son of a cop, former prosecutor, city councilman, what would give me a shot was that our district, I think in many ways, defines itself by risk takers. It's just a part of the culture here in the East Bay. It's why our economy, where it does so well. We are made up of doers and dreamers. People who try and fail, try, fail, try, Instagram. So I come from a district that knows a thing or two about failure and has learned a thing or two about failure and has turned that into great success. But there's work to do here, and I'm excited to do that work. And I believe I'm a better representative because of what I learned on the trail, and because of the top priority that I made in that campaign, ending gun violence, of how far we've been able to push that issue. I made the first debate. And on that debate stage, I will remember a lot, but most significantly for you, 3 of the heavyweights who were on that night with me all pledged to support my legislation to ban and buy back every assault weapon in America.
He can, like, you know, he cannot fill these different agencies. That's what he's doing. But like, he can at least keep the lights on for the programs. But I mean, again, I don't want to fool you. Like, it's not ideal. I mean, he is gutting, you know, a lot of like the EPA and the Department of Energy, the environmental and
so what is going to be our defense?
Well, we'll have to win and stand it up. But like,
Meanwhile,
yeah, I mean, we will lose ground because of what he's doing. There's no, the states, though, in states like California, I mean, thank God they're doing a lot, right?
yeah. It's kind of scary.
Where do you live?
Here in Castro Valley.
Thank you for coming.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
I wanted to answer this because this is for some Democrats.
Yeah.
If it's true, if the article spoke genocide true, it's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Was they right? You know, it's
anonymous. I believe Jake Tapper.
I believe, but this
really
is what
said
question. I asked questions. They told it another person. It's called genocide. CNN wrote.
This is I've seen the story.
Yeah. I need answer because this is dangerous.
Yeah.
Very dangerous.
Yeah. I agree, sir. Thank you for bringing it up. Yeah.
Hey, Gary, you know, the most he said at that time was he cannot, the evidence does not exonerate him. He didn't take that extra step. Do you think somebody, including yourself, may ask him why he didn't say he legally obstructed justice?
Yeah, I think it's the Department of Justice policy. So we're gonna that he
the
can't
legal
indict.
counsel guidelines?
Yeah, that he can't indict a sitting president.
But does that really indict a sitting president by just saying that he obstructed justice?
I think he didn't even want to do that.
That's what I'm wondering why.
I think it's because of that, but that will be answered.
That will be a question. Okay.
Can I ask my question? Yes, I'm really concerned with this climate of chaos, as you call it, about the fact that he seems to be decimating all the science things. So is anything going to be able to be done to avoid that? Because if we don't have the science, how are we going to defend ourselves?
So the good news is, like, the first budget that we're going to have, like, with this new Congress is coming September. So we're not going to fund his priorities if it's decimating science. And that was like the power of the first thing.
Like